So I just got back from my travels for work, and I guess I couldn't have timed it any better, as Tamashii Nations has just wrapped up their 2024 event in Japan, where they've been showing off previews for everything that they've been cooking up for the next year. Full disclaimer before we get into the news, I'm only going to be covering the Dragon Ball and Yu-Gi-Oh! MonsterArts news. If you want updates on something like Kamen Rider, Naruto, One Piece, or Godzilla, this ain't the channel for it. As always, I'll give you all the tea, and then I'll give my thoughts at the end. So with that out of the way, let's get into the news. Right off the bat, Tamashii Nations has announced a re-release campaign to celebrate Dragon Ball's 40th anniversary on top of the 40th anniversary Kid Goku and Dragon V-Jump release. Straight from the horse's mouth, they, and I quote, have opened a questionnaire to decide which S.H.Figuarts Dragon Ball item gets a re-release. Select from 115 previous releases, and the item that gets the most votes will be announced for next year. If you want to see the full diorama that they had on display at the event that stretches 10 meters long, or 32 feet for us American folk, you can go check it out on Tamashii Nation's Instagram page at Instamashi. So if you want a chance at something like Z Broly again, the link for the questionnaire will be in the description if you want to fill it out. It asks 4 simple questions: which 3 figures would you like to see, your gender, age group, and country of origin. Just a heads up, they are not going to re-release any event exclusives, so if there's a specific version of a figure you want with a different color scheme, it's not going to happen. That would honestly cause pandemonium if Tamashii did that. But post down below what your top 3 choices are. Mine were Z Broly, Final Form Cooler, and Turles. Next, Tamashii has teased 4 new Dragon Ball Daima figures. These being Glorio, Pansy, Shin or Mini Supreme Kai, and Mini Super Saiyan Goku. The first 3 are pending approval from the licensor, so we may get a release date for those soon, TM. As for the Goku, he will be coming soon and looks to be sporting everything the previous Mini Goku came with, but with a Super Saiyan head sculpt. Maybe we'll see a Super Saiyan 2 or Super Saiyan 3 later down the road, or maybe even a Mini Super Saiyan Vegeta. And one last bit of Dragon Ball news. The Super Saiyan 2 Son Goku event exclusive is getting a reissue, this time as a Tamashii Nation store exclusive. So, I imagine he'll be getting the same treatment as the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku and Ultra Instinct Saiyan Goku, where it's the same release, just in your standard packaging. He will come with everything from his prior release and will be retailing for about 10,000 yen, or roughly 90 USD, which, if I'm not mistaken, is a jump from 2 years ago. He's scheduled for a January 2025 release and should start popping up at Tamashii stores across Japan, New York City, and various Asian store locations. Now for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Monster Art news. Tamashii has officially announced the Stardust Dragon figure. As of right now, we only have the 2 promotional photos and the display itself to look at, but I imagine now that the event has concluded, we'll get a release date soon and some more photos to go with it. As far as the execution goes, this thing looks pretty stellar. Get it? Because it's Stardust Dragon? Anywho, the other bit of news that I'm really excited about is Tamashii has teased us with a Yami Yugi figure. As of right now, we only have a shadow box outline of the King of Games, but I'm hoping for the best. Now with the news out of the way, let's get into my thoughts. The 40th anniversary campaign is nice as it gives collectors new and old the chance to pick up a figure that they wish to see released again. If y'all have seen my Broly review, I suggested that Tamashii might do another reissue event later down the road, as we just got the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta reissue. The only thing I hate about this campaign besides picking out 3 figures and the top one gets the reissue is the fact it included 1.0 figures, figures not yet released like Super 17, and figures that we just got general releases of like the Super Saiyan God Goku. Not to mention the ones that have already got a reissue earlier this year like Piccolo and The Adventure Begins Bulma. I'm not sure why Tamashii included those, but I know most of us here are not going to pick those figures. At least, that's what I hope. I think people are not going to be too thrilled if, say, the 1.0 Gohan, Cell, or Vegito get a reissue when the 3.0 versions of those figures are probably around the corner, whenever that may be. We just gotta get through Daima first. Also, I imagine since Tamashii is making us pick 3 figures, we'll wind up doing a second vote to decide which of the top 3 will get the reissue, much like the 15th anniversary campaign, where it was between Scatter Vegeta, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, and Goku Black. I just wish it was the top 3 that get reissued, because there are some options on here that really need it, like the Ginyu Force and some of the Sand Saga releases. As for the vote, I think it'll come down to Broly, Broly, and Broly. Jokes aside, probably Z Broly, Final Form Cooler, and maybe the OG Goku Black, which I have reviews up for Broly and Goku Black respectively if you want to check those out for a refresher. Also, I noticed that Zamasu is not on this list. Merged Zamasu is, but not the P-Bandai Zamasu. That was either deliberate or a complete error on their part, but let's be real, $60 for a very, very bare minimum figure. Not the most stellar release ever. I also have the sneaking suspicion that whatever gets the reissue will be a P-Bandai release like the 15th anniversary Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, which will be a huge L, but we'll have to wait and see. If anything though, and I know this will probably sound bad to a lot of you, but hear me out on this one. If they see that a certain figure is popular, say some of the Ginyu Force characters, they may wind up getting a reissue or a event exclusive treatment with an alternative color palette later down the road, which wouldn't be bad. But again, I know most of you just wish they would just reissue these figures and just be done with it. But as my dad would say, hold out your hands, put your want in one, and shut in the other, and see which gets fuller quicker. Anywho, circling back to Daima, I'm not too thrilled about B-list characters like Pansy, but that's okay I guess. I know many folks are not too excited about going back in time or seeing a revisioning of GT, but I for one have enjoyed the show so far. The art style is top notch, and the show itself seems to blend everything together that Toriyama ever worked on, ranging from Blue Dragon, Dragon Quest, and Dragon Ball. I'm just hoping we get more figures of the cast in their adult forms, as it gives us more opportunities for 3.0 figures. Heck, I would like an adult Supreme Kai, but I imagine we'll get there whenever we get to the Buu Saga. As for the Super Saiyan 2 Goku, I'm happy more people are going to have a chance at the figure, but most of those who do not have access to a Tamashii store are going to be paying the markup. I did for the Z Fighters Goku and the Innocent Challenger Goku, so it is what it is. Lastly, my thoughts on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Monster Arts news. I'm super excited that we're getting duelists. I was seriously debating picking up the Figma releases of Kaiba and Yugi, but now I do not have to spend an exuberant amount of money to pick them up. I can't wait to see Yugi because 1, Tamashii has been killing it with their attention to detail, and 2, that means Kaiba and Joey are around the corner. It truly is an exciting time to be a collector right now, especially if you're a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, because this line is getting all the love right now, and I'm excited. I just can't wait. But that's going to do it for the news. I'd like to thank you, the viewer, for making it to the end. If you haven't already, kindly hit the like button and subscribe, as it helps me out and keeps the channel growing. Plus, I've got other videos up and more to come. I'd also love to hear your thoughts on the news. Is there any figure you're excited for? And who are you going to be voting for in the campaign? I'd love to hear it all. As always, this has been To Leave Reviews, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.